Hi everyone, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. For today's card, I am going to be making a birthday card using the brand new Peekaboo rectangle dies from the Stamps of Life. I'm also going to be bringing in the Monsters for Celebration set as well as the Candles for Birthday set. Here's a look at the card that I'm going to make with you. It is, as you can see, an A2 size card, birthday card, and it has this little rectangle on the front that when you open it up, you can have something hiding behind. And in this case, I put a monster behind that flap. So that rectangle flap was made with the Peekaboo rectangle dies from the Stamps of Life, and it looks like this. It comes in a set of 6 rectangles. One of them is not shown here. So you can have that flap any size you choose. It comes in some small dies as well as some larger ones. It also comes with a little word die that says lift, which I die cut on that first flap. You can see when that flap is down what that looks like. So that first flap was cut with the largest die, so you can see I just kind of die cut a piece of cardstock just so you can see what each one of those dies look like. So you have large all the way to very small, and you can basically make these flaps any size that you want and put anything you want behind them, and it would make for a nice surprise on a card for someone. So for my card today, I'm also going to be bringing in these Monsters for Celebration stamp set. I've used this set in the past, and I think it's such a fun set when you want to make a fun birthday card. I love these little guys. They're so adorable. And it has some sentiments. You can do a congratulations card. It has hooray, yes, hi, wow, awesome, amazing, wowsters, and hello. And again, the 3 little monsters. I'm also going to be using the Candles for Birthday stamp set. And again, these stamp sets are both from the Stamps of Life. I'm going to be bringing in these sentiments as well as these small candles at the very bottom. I'm not going to be using the large candles that you see there on the left, but just those small candles that you see there on the bottom. So I went ahead and stamped out my monster. I'm only using one monster for this card because, as you saw in the picture of the card that I had created, it was just one monster inside the flap. But of course, you could make a larger card and have 3 monsters underneath those Peekaboo rectangle flaps. So I stamped my image out using my Memento black ink, and I stamped it onto my Spectrum Noir cardstock, which is what I use when I color with my alcohol markers. I am coloring this up with my Copic markers. You can use any coloring medium you wish. I have shown coloring on this little guy before. I think I've used some real brush pens, the Arteza real brush pens. I colored this little guy up. I've also colored this guy up with Copics in the past, so I have used him on cards before on my channel. So I do use the greens. I thought the greens would be a nice contrast for the colors that I'm going to be using in my card, and I am using the YG colors. So I'm using the YG25 as my dark green, the YG03 is my midtone, and the YG01 is my light. I do come in with the R20 for his tongue and the C9 for the back of the mouth. I do leave the teeth and the eyes white. I don't color those in. However, I do come in with my C9 and I just color those black dots on his eyes just to make them stand out a little bit more. Then I take a piece of my Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth cardstock and I cut this down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I am stamping my candles onto the bottom of this card layer. And notice that the bottom of the candles are stamped a little bit off of that card layer onto that scrap paper. So that's why I put that scrap paper there at the bottom so that it looked like the candles were kind of going off of that card layer. And keep in mind that I did use my Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth cardstock and my Memento Tuxedo black ink because I am going to be coloring those candles up with some alcohol markers, and I did not want the ink to smear. So now I'm going to go ahead, before I color those candles, I'm going to stamp out various sentiments. These sentiments are from the Candles for Birthday stamp set, so the same stamp set that I used for the candles. all of these sentiments are from. So I'm using various Stamps of Life inks to stamp these out. So I have inks in banana, tangerine, green apple, strawberry, and blueberry, and I'm just stamping these sentiments in random spots throughout this card layer. And again, some of them are off of the card layer. Again, that's why that scrap paper is underneath there. And some of them are not off of the card layer. So just random spots all over that layer. And I chose these colors because the colors that I'm going to be coloring for my candles are going to be some of the same colors. So I'm going to keep it all within the same color scheme. I do bring in the star stamp from the Pinatas to Stamp set, and I ink that up with banana ink and just add some stars throughout just to add some yellow and just some additional color to that card front. Now I'm ready to do my coloring, and again I chose Copic markers that closely match the colors of these ink pads. So for my blues I'm using a B28 and a B24, so just a 2-color blend there. And I basically just counted the candles to see how many over I need to do, because I wanted to do it in a pattern. I basically counted up how many colored ink pads I had and how many color combinations to make sure I can do a pattern for my candles. So I have the blue, the orange, then the green, and then the red. So I guess there's 4 colors down there, and just colored all of those up. I'm going to have all of the colors linked down below and on my blog just so that you can see what those colors are in case you're interested. And then for the wicks of the candles, I do bring in that yellow, which I tie in from the Pinata star from that card front. So I am going to be die cutting that rectangle out of the card front. So I'm just putting it in the center of that card front. It's that Peekaboo rectangle die. Adding some washi tape, taped it down, ran it through my die cut machine, and here I'm just trying to be really careful to remove this washi tape so I don't tear this card front. And when that die cuts into the cardstock, it cuts the rectangle out on 3 sides, but not on that left side. So that left side is not die cut because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to leave that flap so that you can just lift up and just see what's underneath. I do add some banana ink to the edges just to add some more color to this card front. And I also add that banana ink to this rectangle flap in the middle. Again, just to add some more color. So I am going to be bringing in a strawberry colored card base, and I also have a piece of pattern paper that I cut down because instead of having the red color on the inside of that flap, I thought it would be fun to have a piece of pattern paper on the inside of that flap. And that pattern paper is from the Surprise Collection paper pad. It was that paper pad that the Stamps of Life had with the pinatas, because you can see the pinatas there on the back. So I just used some double-sided adhesive tape to tape it down. I did cut that pattern paper down to 2.5 by 3.5 in case you wanted to know an exact measurement there. And then I'm just adding some glue, because this is going to be glued down to my card base. My card base is cut to an A2 in size. It's 4.25 by 5.5, so I'm just going to add that directly to the card base. And then when you open the flap, you'll be able to see the pattern paper, so it just adds another layer of fun. And then the little monster, he's going to go right inside. And as far as that Peekaboo rectangle, I think I used the second largest size rectangle on that flap, which I think I meant to use the largest one, and I ended up grabbing the second largest one, which that one seemed to fit as well. I also die cut the words Happy Birthday. These are from the Happy Birthday 2019 kit dies, which they do have for sale on their website as well. Die cut that out of the blueberry cardstock and added that there to the inside. Again, that just adds for another element of surprise. And that completes my card. So you can see how fun that is. When you open that up, it says Happy Birthday. And then you can also write a message on the inside. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more card making tutorials. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.